Oleksandr Syrsky doesn't give many interviews, but he's spoken to one of Ukraine's largest online news sites, and there's a couple of real key takeaways. Most importantly, he says Russia has already started its so-called spring offensive and has doubled attacks around the border regions of Sumy and Kharkiv, so far without any major gains. There's now 623,000 Russian troops fighting Ukraine, he says, and that's increasing by 8,000 to 9,000 a month. The Russians are firing less artillery than they were before, down from 40,000 shells a day to around 23,000. That's because Ukraine hit several of Russia's largest ammunition depots in long-range strikes. On the Kursk incursion, he says Ukraine had intelligence that up to 160,000 Russian troops were about to attack around Sumy and Kharkiv. Initially, only 4 people knew what Kyiv was planning, and when commanders were told on the eve of the crossing, some even questioned whether it was legal. The general also talks about the increasing use of drones and robotics. He says Ukraine has entered afterburner mode and is rapidly scaling domestic production. It now has 20-kilometer fiber optic drones which can evade electronic warfare and jamming, plus increasing numbers of robot ground vehicles. These can carry machine guns and use AI to find targets and then decide how best to attack them. On Ukraine's ill-fated 2023 counteroffensive, the general admits Kyiv didn't have enough men or ammunition. If they'd had 5 brigades, not just 2, he says, then he believes Bakhmut and Soledar would both have been liberated. Syrsky is also asked about having foreign peacekeepers inside Ukraine, the reassurance force being discussed by the so-called coalition of the willing. He says they'd be deployed where the threat of a Russian attack was minimal, and having them there, he says, will stabilise the situation for a while. But for how long, well that, he says, will be difficult to predict.